Hi, hello, welcome to Kit and Kajira Gaming. Welcome if you are new. You can call me KK, and today we are designing a house area for Mirabelle up here in the Sunlit Plateau. I am taking inspiration off of El Serene with doing a vineyard type look, but of course we're doing it in the valley instead of Eternity Isle. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to go ahead and move Casita over to this little part of the Sunlit Plateau, which is right in that corner that overlooks the peaceful meadow. And I am starting off with this, I think it's the sun-baked pathway. I just like how this dirt pathway just looks the most natural here in Sunlit Plateau, while still giving it a barn, farm, vineyard-esque feel. So a lot of the items that I am using are going to be natural-esque elements. So we have water features, we'll have trees, and then of course we'll have like natural bamboo for the fencing, as well as adding a bunch of desert type trees. So I'm starting off with marking out where I want the vineyard using the white bamboo fencing. And I do change the size of this lot quite a bit, as you'll see later on in the video. But I wanted to give Casita her own little vineyard type feeling. I think she just is very reminiscent of an old house that you would find out in the country that's been there for forever, that has done nothing but grown crops. And to section off the far left side that overlooks the plaza, I'm just taking these waterfalls and creating a wall in between Casita and the plaza. Now you can't see obviously the water feature from inside Casita, but I think it gives almost as if the house is set in the cliffside, which is what I liked the most. And when you are walking around the water features, you do hear the trickling of water, which is awesome. Now, like I said, I did take some inspiration from El Serene, and I will link her video down below on where I got this inspiration from. But I wanted to also include some of the grapes that you can get in Eternity Isle on both sides. So I do about 30 holes on each side of the pathway. And of course, just like any other time you're decorating in Dreamlight Valley, the weather does change constantly, so please excuse it now. It is quite foggy, and then I believe later on it does start to rain. Now, I do like keeping my builds quite functional, so I want to make sure I am able to get around all of the pieces that I am putting down, because Dreamlight Valley does like to stick things in corners where you can't reach it. So instead of having to constantly go into furniture mode and move things around, I only want to do it once, and then that way I can just continue to run around my valley as needed. Now, the only real piece of furniture that I do put in this build is the madrigal table and yellow chairs that you get from Mirabelle. So aside from those and this waterfall that you get from Nala here in the back, and then the waterfall tiles on the left that you get from Scrooge, everything else is all natural builds and floral elements. I do want to apologize if you can hear my cat or my rooster in the background. Of course, they are completely silent and left me alone until I started recording, so I do want to apologize if you hear them making noise in the background. Now I just went ahead and planted and watered the grapes, and they do take, I want to say, 20 or 30 minutes to grow. You'll see them in their full glory at the end of this build. So I am absolutely loving these dune palm trees that you get from Eternity Isle. I just think they fit in the Sunlit Plateau so well. And I think it just gives a nice tropical feeling to Casita while also keeping in line with the vineyard effect that we're going for. And then I am using these lush trees, which come standard with Dreamlight Valley, just to line the pathway from Casita up to the great part of the vineyard. And then I'm going to take some of these Sunlit Plateau dwarf birches and just flank either side of the entrance to Casita and place this banner down. I did not have the cocoa banner, so this is what I am using in replacement of it until I do get cocoa banner, and then I will switch it out. Putting this banana fruit basket in the middle of the table just for another tropical element. And of course I'm going to go ahead and run around and make sure that I can still access everything. So as you guys just saw, I cannot get around these giant dune trees, so I am going to have to rearrange them to be able to get around Casita. Because as you can see, as I'm moving the dry wood from what dropped from the trees, Disney Dreamlight Valley does like to just drop things even if you cannot access them. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add some of these cactuses that you can get from the Eternity Isle expansion. Again, I think it just adds to the feel of Casita being somewhere lush, but also possibly desert. I don't know. I live out here in SoCal, and we have both lushness when it comes to our vineyards, but also in the same plot of land, there's also cactuses, and that's kind of what I'm basing this off of. Now I am using these wild, tangled little fern plant things. These are my absolute favorite. They take up 1 square and they can just fit in anywhere, which just adds a little bit more green to the area without being overbearing. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the small cluster of rocks from the Sunlit Plateau and just stagger them along the sun-baked pathway that we built earlier, just to add a little bit of texture. And with that, my friends, Casita's Vineyard in the Sunlit Plateau is done. I absolutely love how this came out. I do wish I had the cocoa banner instead of this banner here, which I think is from Rapunzel. But I just love this. It's not too crowded, but it does give a nice homey feel. You have the grapes on either side, which as I need them, I will harvest them and then just replant them to keep the aesthetic going. But for now, they're just going to sit here until they're needed. But I absolutely love how this came out. I love the brightness of the Madrigal chairs amongst all this greenery. And this is by far my absolute favorite is this Nala waterfall. It's got the lush greens in it, plus it has a nice water feature, and I think it just ties everything in perfectly. Now, as you can see, I still can walk all the way around Casita and pick up any of the items that are dropping. And then just because we have our wall of waterfall, and I did leave a walking path between the edge of the borders where it meets the plaza and where I actually start my build, because again, I do need to be able to get in between them. And it would be just like Dreamlight Valley to squeeze one of our chests in a teeny tiny little spot that we can't actually get to. I think this is the perfect home for Mirabelle. It's very reminiscent of Mexico, as well as pulling in the brightness of Casita, and just playing off of these water features is absolutely stunning, and I love them so, so much. I do want to thank my inspiration, El Serene. Again, she is linked down below with her vineyard build out in Eternity Isle. But watching that video just inspired me to go ahead and use Casita here in Sunlit Plateau to build my own little vineyard, and I absolutely love it. If you guys do enjoy cozy game content, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time I post a video, and give this video a great big thumbs up. It really helps me in the algorithm. I'm a small content creator, and I am looking to grow my channel in 2024. Be sure to follow me on all social media sites linked down below. That's Twitch, Twitter, and Discord. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys!